Today in the Diz List, we share what we are bringing on our 2024 trips to Walt Disney World.
Welcome to the Diz List, the podcast that lists everything in Walt Disney World. I'm Nick.
And I'm Rob, and welcome to episode 94, where we share what we are bringing on our 2024 trips to Walt Disney World.
You know, things change over the years, and I thought that is, we definitely have an episode called What We Pack, Top 5 Things to Pack.
Yeah, but
We've changed, and, I have got a little bit more experience under my belt. You've got more experience under your belt.
Yeah.
And plus, our needs change as kids grow older.
yeah.
And also, things like Genie Plus changes things, and it doesn't sound like it would change what you pack, but it kind of does. So,
Well, it may or may not be part of something on my list.
oh, okay. Huh. Before we get started with talking about those things, there have been a lot of things coming out of Disney, a lot of announcements coming out of Disney.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to do a whole Patreon about our reaction to that, but we should at least address some of those things here, I think.
Yeah, some of the big pieces. I mean, I think the one that has been kind of the most widespread is Disney releasing all of the animatronic videos. That's a huge peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, so we saw the one, right? The first one we saw, that was probably, that might have even been in January. We saw,
I was going to say it's at least a month old.
yeah, we saw Tiana, and it was like, okay, cool. And they're calling them the A1000 animatronics, I think.
Yeah, it
And-
sounds
and-
really similar to some Terminator.
Yeah, right, yeah.
The T-2000.
Yeah. But that's what they're called. I think they're calling them A1000 animatronics. Either way, I was under the assumption that was the one cool animatronic we get.
Yeah.
Kind of like, okay, you've got the end scene on a
Navi.
Elsa,
Oh, I thought you were going to say Navi River
or you've
Journey.
got the
Yeah,
Navi
yeah.
River Journey, the shaman,
Right.
and then we see Mama Odie, and then we see Lewis.
Yeah, Lewis looks awesome.
It's remarkable, and to see they even showed some of the stuff, and here's what I want to get to about that preview video. They all said Tiana blah 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 DL, Mama Odie blah 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 DL.
Yeah.
Everything we saw was Disneyland.
Yeah. Which means
That maybe Walt Disney World stuff is not on site at Walt Disney Imagineering because it's already been installed.
yeah,
And
people are looking at it and running tests now.
all I'm saying is,
Yeah.
the last two rides, big rides, have opened on or around Memorial Day weekend.
Right.
Tron and Cosmic Rewind.
That's not too far away.
Cosmic Rewind. So what? Somebody placed had a poll on their Instagram thing. It was a post, not a story. And so I voted and then commented, and it was, I think it's Memorial Day, and I thought that for a while. And they replied, well, if it's Memorial Day, that's not too far away. They haven't announced anything. It's not Memorial Day. So here's the thing. Cosmic Rewind, they announced, was going to be opening on Memorial Day weekend.
Mhm.
They announced it on April 7th of that year. As we sit here recording, today is April 12th.
Yep.
The reason, if you recall, that they had to announce the Memorial Day opening for Cosmic Rewind was because they had somebody who accidentally posted a selfie of himself and said, coming to a park
I
near
forgot
you,
about that. Yeah.
coming to Epcot Memorial Day weekend. And
There
so
was
they
quite
did
a bit of that for a while. Do
Yeah.
you remember that?
Yeah.
Where people had to go and
damage control.
yeah.
So they did some damage control for as long as they could, and then they announced it. I still think it's Memorial Day. I could be wrong. I know, as I've said, as a disclaimer, no one. But that video of those animatronics, those are Disneyland's animatronics.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're probably already in.
Yeah. And we've just seen announcement after announcement ever since, and I'm not shocked by this, the DeSantis, I shouldn't say that, the Florida state government and the Disney
Tourism
so whatever, so the Central Florida Tourism Oversight whatever
District.
yeah
Is that right?
yes, it's district, but I started to say disorder. but ever since the CFT,
Is that a thing or is that a Freudian slip?
Ever since CFTOD and Disney's board kind of like, okay, we're good. Let's figure this out. Let's settle. Ever since that happened, announcement upon announcement upon announcement, or at least rumors upon rumors have been flowing out, because now it's like, okay, the money's coming. We're not paying these lawyers anymore. We're not going to have to worry about anything. Let's do this. And the governor, who has been fighting with them, was like, I think Disney should open a fifth gate. In his press conference about the whole thing, I think Disney needs to respond with a fifth gate. Yeah. Now, I don't think that that's coming D23, but holy cow, that would be awesome. But like,
I'm not going to say it isn't.
No, right. But there's been announcement after announcement. So, listen, if you're not a Patreon member, we are definitely releasing our reaction stuff to this. So even if you did it for 1 month, you get that. But like, this is going to be an interesting year, and I have a feeling because they've been, I don't know if you've noticed this, all the stuff about foreign parks getting announced. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They haven't said very specific things about domestic parks
yet.
But I think that's because D23, they want it to be, I mean, look, people who love Disneyland Paris, I'm sure some of them come to D23.
Mm-hmm.
But D23 is about our parks.
Yeah, it's mostly.
So I think they're going to save those big announcements for here.
I know that I saw online that there were people that were trying to get tickets to it. Then they had no chance.
Yeah.
And I think the people who are in the know are going to know that there's going to be some major stuff going down.
Dude, it's coming. Yeah. And I
mean, it could even be something bigger. I mean, if we look at this logic where they're starting to leak these little things like, we'll say Animal Kingdom and that whole thing, if they're leaking it now, maybe they're thinking, we'll just leak that because what we have coming is so much bigger. Maybe.
Well, that's what I'm thinking is happening. I really think that you're right there. That what is happening is we are seeing them leak small things that actually aren't small.
No. The Animal Kingdom thing was huge.
But they're not leaking. Leak makes it sound like they're not purposely putting it out there.
Well,
but like
sometimes
they have. Yes. I have a feeling that you're going to see some ridiculousness coming down the pipe. I have a feeling that when they make these announcements, it's going to be more than we even imagined. And it makes me excited because we were getting jazzed about the whole Epic Universe thing.
Yeah.
But look, Disney's answer is going to be massive. Massive. Especially now that, and I could be wrong about this, but especially now that proxy fight is over too. You know what I'm talking about with that?
No.
So the board of directors and the Nelson Pells trying to take over.
Oh, yeah. So with the vote. Yeah. They ended up with 90-something% of the vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So
I didn't know if that's what it was called.
Yeah, now that the proxy fight is over, I think you're going to be looking at some crazy announcements coming. I really think so.
Do you think this is just kind of the trend that's moving forward? Is this just something for now? Or are we going to get little nuggets all the way up to August? Because August is D23, right?
That's a tough question. That's not a tough question. Yes, to the when is D23? Yes, right. And then the tough question for me is, are we going to get little nuggets?
Well, I mean, we already are.
I think the
is
nuggets
a trend,
but see, we haven't gotten nuggets. They gave like, we know that they've filed for permits.
Yep.
So I think that what they have to announce is going to be official, like making it official, some of this stuff.
Right. Like we're giving you an Encanto dark ride.
Right.
It's going to be Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Right.
Because that's the part that takes place in the Yucatan Peninsula, which we talked about that.
So I think, basically what it comes down to is this. I think what we're going to see is a massive flood of information at D23. But leading up to D23, I think it's going to be people theorizing, and I think all their theories are going to be even on the small scale.
Right. And I think people that listen to this podcast are excited about these things and enjoy theorizing as well. And that's we all enjoy that. It's nice to kind of be surprised. Like Or validating something that you thought would be cool, like, hey, let's bring Radiator Springs Racers and put it right next to.
Right, that's a huge rumor that's out
I
right
know,
now.
and we've been talking about that for a long time. I mean, that's kind of ever since I came back from California. I said, "Geez, put it there. It's perfect. Everything fits. The look of it is identical to the look of the rock formations. It's seamless."
Yeah, I'm excited.
And that's not official, folks. That's all that's rumor. A lot of what we have said on the podcast is officially from Disney. All of the animatronic stuff that was released by Disney, I guess they showed the model that's officially from Disney for Animal Kingdom. That's all official. I just want to make it clear that we're not reporting news that Radiator Springs Racers is coming.
Yeah.
That's just another rumor, but I want to be clear about that.
Speaking of Radiator
our
Springs,
podcast.
Speaking of Radiator Springs, that's very similar to Test Track. And so if you're happening to go to Disney sometime between June 10th and June 17th, that 7-day window, you will be welcomed with 7 days, the only 7 days that Epcot will not have walls.
Yeah, and everything's open.
And then June 17th, Test Track will close.
Yeah.
And they will need to, and they're going to reimagine it. I don't know how long
much. It looks like they're. I mean,
I think
image was a lot of greenery. I mean, do you think it could be the same track, same ride?
I think everything's going to be the same except for the indoor part.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is, I think the track's the same. The vehicles are going to appear in the concept art to change. They could easily change those vehicles to be, look different on the outside and ride in the same track.
Sure, they could have the same shell essentially.
I think it's going to be about based on that one concept art where they're like kind of in a jungle or whatever.
Yeah,
I wonder if they're going to be talking about like Cars for the Planet and thinking about like electric cars as being better for the planet, and maybe push that. And then when you come out, instead of them having the Chevy they try to sell me, they're going to have the hybrid 2500. They're going to have
hybrid Silverado.
It won't be hybrid. They'll have the actual electric one, which is god awful looking, but they'll have all their electric vehicles there, and maybe showing off those things. That's what I suspect. That's just conjecture, but I think it makes sense. GM's going to try to push that.
Do you think GM will put together an all electric Silverado that's the Corksicle package?
That'd be kind of
special edition,
with a cooler.
Well, I'm trying to think of a company that
cooler in the tailgate.
Well, Corksicle is everywhere in the parks, and especially Epcot, because Corksicle does. They sponsor all the different Epcot festivals.
Yeah, maybe it could be like a light blue, like ice blue.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe the Corksicle package. It doesn't have heat; it only has air conditioning.
Keeps it cold.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We're kind of going off the rails now. But when we come back from the halftime show, we're going to be talking about what we're bringing with us on our 2024 trip. Speaking of the halftime show this week is being brought to you by Bryn S.
Oh, nice.
So thank you very much,
Thanks, Bryn.
And Bryn is a patron, which means she gets early access to new episodes as well as bonus content weekly. Also, if you're a patron, we've been putting it out there. And we've been putting it out there for a while, but also to just
our 100th episode,
just to all listeners, just so you know, you can roast the host. And my lovely wife said, because you keep saying you can roast us or you can say something nice about us. She goes, why didn't you just say you can roast or toast the host? So if you have something you would like us to read or react to on the air for our 100th episode, I would love for you to either email us at dizlistpodcast@gmail.com or reach out via social media at dizlistpod on Instagram. Is probably the easiest place to get a hold of me. And I will compile that, and we're going to read some of those. If you're a patron, we're guaranteeing that we'll read it. Everything else, if we have time, we're going to randomize stuff and read the things that people have. It could be a list of the top 5 things that you love about the show. It could be a list about the top 5 idiosyncrasies that we each have. It could be a list about the top 5 funniest moments you've heard. It could be a list about what your favorite condiments are and why you'll miss them when the dinosaur ride goes away. Whatever it might be, we would love to hear it, because I think this 100th episode is shaping up to be good. We've got some special friends in the podcast and YouTube world that are going to be sending us some stuff. I'm excited for.
That is great. Great.
Patrons have known about that for a while. We've mentioned it a couple times now to you on the main show, and I've been posting stuff on Instagram. But Bryn S., thank you so much for all of your support. And we're going to head off to the halftime show, so we'll be right back. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the top things that we are taking with us on our trips to Walt Disney World this summer.
Nice.
Rob, you have not been to Disney World
in a long time. I was
2
just
years.
thinking about that because we're
since we went together.
we're finalizing. Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
Jeez. We've been finalizing a lot of the plans because, well, we did Disneyland for new listeners last year ago. Oh my God, it was a year ago exactly.
Yeah.
A year ago, our family went out to California, visit some friends, and we did Disneyland and California Adventure. You can go back and listen to my recap on those two parks. It was incredible. It was better than I ever imagined, and now it makes me think that I don't like Hollywood Studios as much. And it's funny. I think the people that, and I know I'm going off the rails a little bit, but we got time.
You're good.
We got time. I think the people who are Hollywood Studios lovers, I think a lot of them, it's just a guess. Feel free to message back. This is a hot take on me. I think a lot of those people who love Hollywood Studios haven't necessarily been to Disney California Adventure. Because California Adventure, in my opinion, and I think the opinion of the rest of my family, is that California Adventure is very similar to Hollywood Studios in a lot of ways, shares a lot of the same rides, but I feel it is a superior park. Similar and much superior.
I think if you're local and you have annual passes,
Yeah.
I could see where Hollywood Studios would be higher on my list,
Sure.
because jumping in there for an hour or two,
Is fine.
or going in there even
Yeah.
even for like a whole evening,
Right. Or
Like-
doing one of the special events.
going and getting a
Yeah,
drink at Baseline or Oga's or Brown Derby Lounge,
Right.
and then maybe you do one or two rides and you just walk up and down the
Right.
shops and the boulevards.
Right.
I think that would be different. And so, but from the perspective of people who go
Yeah.
once a year
Mm-hmm.
or twice a year, I think that Hollywood Studios is a tough park to love.
Well, this brings me to another point here.
Yeah.
Which is we are going on our trip to Orlando. I have family that lives in Orlando, and a good couple days we're going to be spending with family.
Yeah, that's
But
cool.
We have decided that we are going to be going to Universal Studios. So we're going to bring that into our plan. But what that does is I am not made of money. So
Yeah.
we are probably going to cut going to Hollywood Studios. I don't know if I've told you that yet.
You haven't, but I'm not shocked, and I don't know that I blame you. I mean, when I think about the rides that I know your family likes, and I know that you like, and the activities you like to do, that's not Hollywood Studios. I mean, I know you love Star Wars,
Yeah, absolutely.
but you also only like one of the rides in Star Wars Land.
Well, in actual
In Galaxy's
Galaxy's Edge, yes.
Right.
Because Star Tours, I'm actually bummed that I can't go and experience the.
Well, you can. You guys
Mandalorian.
could still potentially change your mind.
Yeah, that's true. Or we could do maybe the one.
Are you doing hoppers?
Well, that's what we're going back and forth on. Probably.
If you do hoppers, you could do a half day.
I brought it up to my wife, and she's like, "I just like to immerse in whatever place we are." She goes, and we've done hoppers before.
Yeah.
We did when we did our Christmas trip 2019. It was 2 days. Both days were hoppers, and we banged out all the parks those 2 days. It was not the easiest, but we did it. But it's still a possibility. But
For me, park hoppers are location where I stay dependent. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's a big part of that is like going through Epcot. Like when you were staying over at Beach Club,
Yeah.
right? You could cut through Epcot.
Well, it wasn't
If
even
you
that. It was
wanted
that
to go to
it wasn't
Magic
even that. It
Kingdom.
was like we would go to Magic Kingdom and then be like, it was nice because in the evenings be like, okay, we'll walk into Epcot.
Yeah.
Like we normally on a typical trip we'll book if we're there for a week, we plan on 3 of our days usually 3 of our days being Epcot.
Yeah.
Because we love Epcot so much and there's so much to see. If we're there during a festival, if we're not there during a festival too. But the point is that like when we're staying, when we stayed at Beach Club, it was like we could have easily done 1 day at Epcot.
Yeah.
And then, okay, well, you're burned out at Animal Kingdom, go and rest. And I don't want to get back on a bus and go back to Animal Kingdom, but I'll
Yeah.
sure as heck walk 5 minutes and be in World Showcase.
Well, And then I'm looking at the length of our trip, which is going to be a week. And again, family time is part of it. And it's only going to be like 2 days. But that time where we would have normally gone to Hollywood Studios, we are deciding, hey, we have never been to, I almost said California Adventure.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
We've never,
Epcot. Or,
Islands of Adventure.
Adventure.
I had Adventure
Jeez.
in my head. Islands of Adventure.
Islands of Adventure.
We've never done that. I have done Universal Studios personally with my family more times than I can count. The original park, which I love so many things about that. And we can talk about this on another episode, how they got to bring Jaws back, and it would be an enormous hit again. I mean, a lot of those rides that they got rid of have really become cult hits, like Back to the Future. If they brought Back to the Future and Jaws back, think about how well those rides would do. Do you agree?
I don't know.
I think they would be. I mean, maybe again, it's a nostalgia thing for me because I've been on those two rides. I think that would be incredible. I'm getting off the rails again. I'm going to rewind here.
You're 45.
Yeah.
Right?
46.
But
Sure.
you're a different demographic.
Yes. True. Agree. But then I think of, well, my kids are different because I expose them to all kinds of 80s stuff. But most kids probably wouldn't. Jaws, I think so. Maybe not Back to the Future as much. But my point is, but back to the beginning here, is that we're doing a 2024 trip. And one of the days will be substituted. But let's really look at what that means. That means that Universal is really stepping it up. We haven't been to Universal in maybe 6 years. And we brought the kids there. And we went to just the regular Universal Studios Florida.
Yep.
Kids really enjoyed it. At that point, our kids were a little younger, didn't want to do roller coastery things. They're a little older now. So I think my daughter didn't love roller coasters, and now she's a little bit better with going on roller coasters and things. But the point is, again, big picture, we are now choosing A over B. Or let's reverse it there. B over A.
But that's only for look. It's only for this one trip.
Yeah.
So far. And it's something you've never done. And it's always good to experience.
Yeah.
And also, you're not staying on property, so it's easier to do that.
Yes, and that's another big thing too, is since it's our 2024 trip. My kids are a little older now. I will have, by the time we go, my daughter will be going to her senior year, and my son will be going into his sophomore year. They're a little older. They kind of want their own space. We just went on a trip, and we were all in the same hotel room, and we did okay. But our kids kind of wanted time to themselves a little bit. They'd go out and hang out in the balcony, and we respect that. They weren't rude about it or I'm out of here, storming out. My son was like, I'm just going to go hang on the balcony, do a little bit of time alone, and it's totally understandable, just kind of what he wanted to do. So we're thinking we might try an Airbnb. And again, part of me, and I actually said this to my wife, I go, you know what? I think it'd be really good for the podcast if we just try something different. You know, let's try Airbnb. We've never done that. Like what, it's funny how not so much of, but little things that have to do with, planning for the trip.
Well, that could change what you pack.
Yeah, that's true too.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm excited for your trip because it is going to be a new one.
Yes.
And
yeah,
I'm also equally excited for mine because, obviously it's my trip and it's actually before yours.
And you are going with family.
I'm also going with family.
Yep.
I'm bringing not bringing, but my
You're
brother.
going with.
I'm going with my brother and sister-in-law.
Yep.
And he's the crazy uncle, so this should be interesting.
Right. They don't have kids.
Yeah, by that I mean we all have that one uncle.
Yeah.
Like my one uncle for my 5th birthday bought me a 4-wheeler. He meant to buy me an electric one. They didn't have any on sale, so he bought one of the actual gas, like real 4-wheelers.
Awesome.
Honda 4-Tracks for my 5th birthday. My mom was real happy. That's my brother. Okay, that's basically my brother. So my brother is coming with us with his wife, and I love them both, so it's gonna be a good time.
It's funny that I know your I know your sister-in-law really well.
Yeah.
So this is kind of weird too. Shows my age. I wasn't actually directly her teacher, but she went to school. She was probably sophomore, junior, senior around the time I started.
Sure.
So I got to know her really well on just some different clubs and things, and she's awesome.
Yeah,
so knowing, I don't know, I met your brother a couple times,
Yeah.
but I think you guys are going to have a blast.
Yeah, it's gonna be
she's
fun.
so much fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time.
Great.
So since you are staying off property, I wonder if your list is going to show that.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, so let's jump right in then. Or not right
the
in, 'cause we
first
didn't
one,
jump
and
right
I'm
in, but-
shocked if this isn't on your list, and this is something we've talked about on the show. I'm very excited about, and my interest in this particular thing has grown since we have been to the parks. And my number 5 things to bring on the trip are pins to trade.
So it's not on my official list. It's definitely on my it's on my honorable mention.
Sure. And I think personally, and I don't want to get into this too deep, but like I've really been getting into some of these Disney pins. I also play in a band, and this isn't to promote my band, that's just separate, and Nick knows this from seeing us play so many times, is every time we play a show, I choose a different pin, whether it's a Star Wars one, usually Star Wars, or some type of Disney pin that I will clip on my guitar strap, and for one reason or another.
Right.
So I'm starting to get into it a little bit more. I don't have a crazy collection. Your son's collection is pretty awesome, I'll say.
Yeah.
My son's collection is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Not quite as big, but I think the announcement recently of the cast members wearing the lanyards.
It's a
Go
game
ahead.
changer.
Explain. I mean,
You can go ahead.
So the cast members announced that they are going to be wearing lanyards with pins on them, and there's specific rules. You can only you can't trade the same. You can only do 2, right? And you can't trade the same pin back. What was that rule?
I don't.
It was
know.
something about crud. I'm trying to remember what it was. You can't put a pin back on that was already there or something.
Yeah, you can't. So if they already have that, you can't trade them a pin that they already have on their lanyard.
Theirs. Okay,
Yeah.
that was it. So for me, I'm very excited about bringing the pins along, and we'll figure out how we did it. I mean, what did you do last time? Did you bring just like a plastic bag or like one of those
Into the parks?
Yeah.
So each kid has it's literally a pencil bag.
Oh, that's a good
that
idea.
that we bought at Target.
Okay.
That is like that normally you'd put pencils in or whatever.
Yeah,
but
Ziploc
and they're
bags, not
Disney.
gonna hold up.
They're Disney themed,
Cool. Great.
and that's what they keep their traders in, and they keep that in one of our bags when we go to the parks. So like in my bag, maybe I have my son's, or maybe I have them both, whatever, and their traders are in there.
Sure.
And then when they get new ones, they put their new ones in a different spot so that they don't grab. You know what I mean? Like, so normally you would assume that if you traded for it, it's something you wanted.
Yeah.
So we typically, like my son will typically take and either put his on his lanyard and put his lanyard back in my bag or
Sure.
his bag, or some other pouch. And then when we get back to the hotel, they'll go through and say, that one I traded for, I did like it. I liked it better than the one that I had.
Sure. You level up.
Right.
sort
I
of,
leveled
so to
up.
speak.
Yeah, I leveled up. But it's not so great that I wouldn't trade it. So I'm going to bring it in my trader bag today. So we usually bring little trader pouches.
As soon as you mentioned that, I was visualizing that in my head. And if it's like a horizontal pencil bag,
That's exactly what it
well,
is.
the benefit is you can see more of them at once. And if you have a deeper vertical bag, you just see like what's ever on top.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's a great tip, actually. So this
Yeah,
is
that's
this
exactly
is
it.
great for a lot of reasons. So yeah, the pencil bag, that's definitely
And
that's a good cheat code.
And we put extra rubber backs on there because some of the ones you trade, not so much. This isn't so much the case on the ones that so like if you're doing it with a cast member, they're gonna have the rubber backs on them because they're on a lanyard. But on the pin boards, they're just pushed in. And so when you trade, you have to swap out your rubber backs.
Yeah,
Like
and
you put yours onto the pin
Yeah.
or onto the board. So if you trade one that has a 1 pin back and you get one that has a 2 pin back, you're going to need something to cover that back. And that's why we bring some extra rubber backs.
And just toss those in the bag too.
Yeah. That's usually how it rolls.
So there's two different kinds of locking ones. There's the one that you pinch on the back.
Not as good.
I bought a couple of those in bulk. If you need any, I have some extra.
But the ones you want with the little Allen wrench.
The Allen wrench ones, those are legit.
Right, those are the ones you want to use if you have a really favorite one and you're going to be
you
riding.
don't want it to fall off.
Right, and you're going to be riding rides, or you've got it on your backpack strap or whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
So number 5 for me, pins to trade, and I mean going forward from here, it's all just good stuff. And you and I talked before the show. Is it in order top 5? I mean, it could be, but there's nothing that's like this is number 1. This is number.
Yeah.
For me, it's like this is all just good stuff.
For me, I've got my honorable mentions.
Sure.
I've got 5 through 2, and I've got 1. And 1 is one that is you'll probably be like, really? Is that makes sense? But I've got a good explanation for it. But my number 5 is one that used to be probably my number 2 or 3, and it was definitely there because of the order and it needed to be there. Number 5 is almost something that could fall off this list, but it's charging cables / battery packs.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's on your list or not, but
Yes and no.
for me, here's the thing. 5 years ago, when we went for our first time.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's like, you need to have your charging your battery packs. You need to have your battery packs. You need to have your battery packs. And I went and we had like, okay, I've got a battery pack. My wife's got a battery pack. Well, then it's like, okay, well, I've got to have a battery pack for this and a battery pack for that. And then, well, now my son's got a phone. Like, you start adding it up. You've got like 4 battery packs and it's heavy.
Yeah.
And then guess how many times I used a battery pack in a park last year? 0.
Well, I did.
Now,
Yeah.
right. So I'm not saying that I would ever go into the park without one,
Yeah.
but I'm saying you don't need them as much as you think.
Yeah.
If you plan properly. Now, if you're somebody who is going to be playing the Disney Genie slots all day,
Yeah. You're going to be using
you're
a lot.
going to need
Yeah.
then you're going to need it. Okay? And that's fine, and I will bring one for that purpose, but only one person should be doing that. To me, you're there to enjoy the day. You're not there to be stuck on your. So I'll say I'll suck it up. I'll do it, or
Yeah.
ask my wife to do it or whatever. But like, I'm not expecting everybody's phones to drain because they should be enjoying the day, right?
Yeah. Right.
But it is something. It's important to bring, but not as important as it used to be, in my opinion.
Yeah. And another one that drains the battery really fast too, and depending on you as a person, how many photos you take and how many videos you take, because that can drain the battery as well because you're using your screen.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. That's
Yeah.
very true. My son's batteries will drain quickly. He's a photo bug. He loves taking pictures. Now that he has because he didn't last year, I guarantee you he's going to rip through battery, and that's fine. I don't mind bringing a battery pack for it. But the key here is the cables. I think now more than ever you can get away without a battery pack because there are enough plugs in the park. There are enough places to charge in the park.
I guess my most recent trip was a year ago to Disneyland. I used it's called a MagSafe.
Yeah.
And the back of my case, for people that don't know what this is, you may have seen phone cases that have like a circle with like a little line underneath, almost kind of looks like a light bulb a little bit on the back of a phone case, and it's magnetic. And you can buy a battery pack. If you buy the Apple version, it's like $1 trillion, or you can buy one on Amazon that is a fraction of the cost, and they work great. So I had that on. Oh my gosh, I put it on about halfway through the day because I think my battery got to like 30 by noon, and it's an older phone. Like, my phone's not brand new. I've had it for quite a while. So I had that battery pack on the back, and it was fine. It lasted the whole day because I did a ton of video. Another thing that's kind of a tip for people too, and this isn't necessarily on my list, but I've got a little point and shoot camera that I brought with me, and I screwed on the bottom. It's kind of like a handheld.
It's a gimbal.
Yeah, and you can open it up into a tripod, and I had that 1 year, and the video quality for that stuff was awesome. So just another thing you can carry around so you're not on your phone all the time, and you're not tempted to, get all that extra dopamine by going on to Instagram, which we're all guilty of, I know, but it was kind of nice just having a camera, a little better quality, different look to your pictures. So when I go back to that particular year, I can kind of tell, just because I'm a photo guy, I teach photo, you can tell by the quality that it's just a little bit different. I mean, to the average person, you may not be able to notice by looking at a picture that it's a little bit different. Sometimes it has to do with your depth of field where the background is a little blurry, but just another tip. Maybe you want to try a point and shoot, do something a little different, and it'll help you with battery life for your phone. So I don't know,
true.
just not on my list, but thought it would come up, kind of be cool.
You're not wrong. Number 4 for you?
Number 4, we actually used these before, but we used them really recently for a trip we just took with our family. We went to Mexico, and it was one thing that came in really, really handy with packing and organization, and it's packing cubes and vacuum seal packing bags. Have you ever used those before?
I have. Yeah.
So it's really nice, and I realize that the end game is you can't be over whatever, 45, 55
50
pounds
usually.
whatever. Yeah. So there's a certain weight limit, but part of that for me is just organization. Or if you are somebody that has like a physical, like back problems or something, and you need a special pillow, or you need something like that, you can vacuum seal it, or Who the heck knows? So when we packed, the kids used them too, and we had these packing cubes where all the socks went in this cube, all the underwear went in this cube. It just helps with organization a little bit.
So I'm going to post.
Yeah.
I've got to remember, and I haven't been doing this well enough. We do have like the Amazon affiliate stuff that we can do. My wife bought these things that she traveled in February to Phoenix with the kids, and they're bags that are certified carry-on size.
Yep.
That come with a set of packing cubes inside of them.
Oh, cool.
And this
That's
thing,
super convenient.
oh, she packed for her and the two kids in the one carry-on. Then they have it also the set came with a personal item sized bag
Cool.
with its own cubes.
Nice.
And my son had a backpack, I think. So the three of them went without having to check a bag. Now, I'm not saying that we would be able to do that necessarily for a week at Disney.
Yeah, right.
It's a little bit different. They were staying with a friend. If they needed to do laundry, they could. I know that in a DVC, we could do our laundry. But the vacuum seal thing, or the vacuum ones, are great if you have bulky items. I know exactly what you mean, because I always wonder, like, yeah, okay, cool, I can vacuum, which means it's more dense, which just means I'm going to be overweight.
Yeah.
But the packing cubes is great for organization. I'm going to throw one in there that you didn't say.
I was about, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Is it souvenirs?
No.
Oh, that's what I was going to. That's the end.
No.
The end was it gives you more room for souvenirs because people forget about that. That was it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to mention the thing my wife does, the hanging cube.
Oh, right. I forgot about
Organizer.
that.
So it's a collapsible thing you get in Walmart or whatever. It's super popular during college move-in days at our Walmart.
I bet.
But they're like the hanging. It's like a hanging organizer for your closet.
It's like an accordion.
Yeah, and we get those and we hang them in our closets because Disney resorts are notorious for not having a lot of storage. So we hang them in there, and then everybody has two shelves. Boom! There you got your T-shirts in one, your shorts in another, and then whatever you got your drawers used for other things. But yeah, and I agree with you 100% on the souvenir thing. Pack an extra bag inside of your bag for that souvenir too.
Which you could. And I mean, if you, depending on how many carry-ons, if you get one of those big Disney World bags, the bigger ones that they use, and now they have the ones you can buy that are the like reusable bags, which are cool. Yeah. You could always bring one of those and put one of those on the flight too.
Yeah, packing cubes are great. I agree.
So yeah, that and the vacuum seal packing cubes. I don't know. It just makes it a little bit easier. We we enjoy using them, and my wife's
organization wise is great. So
yeah.
Number 4 for me is refillable water bottles / hydration. I put packs. So I mean like the I think they call it powder IV. I don't know, whatever. The IV, it's something IV, but either way, it's these liquid IV, I think is what it's called. And they come in the little boxes, and they're just a powdered form, and you put them in. It's basically electrolytes that you can put in your water.
Awesome.
Now, I will say, I think it's too strong. I don't like it.
It's so funny. I completely agree with you.
Like, I can taste the electrolytes because electrolytes are just salt. So what I do is
half.
Yeah. Well, I don't do that. I put a whole one in, but I don't put it in my water bottle. Like I'm looking at a Poland Springs water bottle right now. I put it in my big bottle that I bring to. So it says it's supposed to go in a 20-ounce bottle.
Oh, so that's perfect.
So I put it in my big 32-ounce or 40-ounce Yeti that I bring, and it's fine. But they will keep you more hydrated. And when you have a refillable one, you're not like, do I really need more water? That's $5 for a bottle of water. You just find a place to refill it. Whether that be you go to Cosmic Rays and you use the water spout from the at the soft drink station, or they've got water at some of the quick services, or they're putting more and more of the water bottle filling stations in the park. It's not the greatest tasting water, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
If you can find one where you can get it from the soft drink station, that's gonna be filtered. The other ones, they're gonna taste like Florida water. Yeah. So that's another reason why I highly encourage the liquid IV. You put it in there, it flavors it.
It's a good idea.
It doesn't taste like sulfur.
My Florida family members, without a doubt, when we go out to eat at a restaurant, every single time, I'll have water with lemon, please. Every time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like water with lemon anyway, but you need to have it there.
Yes.
So that's my number 4 is refillable water bottles, because it's a heck of a lot cheaper, and you will hydrate better that way. And also making sure to bring the hydration pack so the water doesn't taste like boiled eggs.
So this next one, my number 3, is it's a stretch, but I think you will agree with me, of things to bring on your trip. Okay.
Okay.
This one isn't a physical thing to bring.
A good
Okay.
attitude.
No, God, a bad attitude. No, bring a working knowledge of how My Disney Experience and Genie Plus works. So bring that along. You're smiling. How come?
It's a stretch, but you know what?
Yeah,
I
bring
totally
that
like it.
along.
I like it.
You know what I mean, though? Like,
No, yeah.
what do you bring along that's going to help? You're going to bring along. You're going to prep, and you're going to watch our good friends who we promote all the time.
Yeah.
Is Ear Scouts.
Yeah.
And you watch Ear Scouts, and they update it all the time. I love, by the way, that Eric has been on the episodes
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
Shout out to Eric, who has been. Anyway, we love Eric.
Yeah.
And Rob. Rob, we love you too. And I would say bring that working knowledge, because it changes so often. If you don't know what we're talking about right now, you need to do that before you go on your trip. You need to know how the app works. And it includes food. It includes the map now, because do they even hand out the paper maps? I don't know. You get your map on there, you order your food, you can book all your rides on there. Go ahead. I see you smiling. It's going to be good.
So listen,
Yeah.
can I amend your thing?
Yeah.
Bring a working knowledge of how Disney works.
Okay.
Because
That's fair.
I was home.
And that's part of it. You have to know Disney works to use the app to make
So
it.
I sincerely hope that my mother did not suggest my podcast to the person that she revealed to me had said some stuff that like, oh, that's doable. That's doable. That's doable. And I was like, Mom, that is not doable. I was like, did you try to explain that? She's like, I tried to explain it. And they were like, no, it totally is. We did it. And I'm like, when did they go last? 12 years ago. And I was like, Mom, I'm like, did you tell them? I was like, do me a favor and just tell them that like they need to trust you on this one and that your information is coming from your son who hosts a Disney podcast.
Yeah.
They cannot just show up and do these things. Like they're thinking about planning a trip for this summer.
Yeah.
This summer, right? And like not just like the end of summer. This summer, like when I'm going to be there. I'm like, I'm coming up on 60 days. What are they going to do for food? Well, they said they'd figure it out. Blah blah blah. I'm like, figure it out.
Then you're having hamburgers every
I said,
meal.
listen. I was like, if their aim is to cure their Disney itch and never have it again, go like that.
Yeah.
Because if you go with a non-working knowledge of Disney or a non-working knowledge of the tech, you will cure your love for Disney.
Yeah.
It will be gone because you will hate it. You'll have a miserable time. That is not hyperbole. That is the reality. If you don't know what's going on, if you don't know how to run that app, you're out of luck. It's how do people do it if they don't know? I don't know. I don't know how they do it if they don't know. I really don't. I am so with you on that. It's not something you pack, but it kind of is.
It is.
So
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Or
I like
at least,
that one.
at very least, one person in your party who can navigate
Oh,
it.
yeah, it doesn't need to be everybody,
Right.
right? It doesn't need to be everybody.
Somebody in your group needs to have a working understanding of
Yeah,
it.
and I would say if
be
it's a
like the
large
phone
group,
guy.
if it's a large group, you'd want to.
Yeah.
Like this particular group, 13 people. I was
Right.
like, 13 people.
Yeah.
You're gonna make dining reservations. Have fun. Good luck. Those were gone 3 days ago.
Yeah.
For what? It doesn't matter. They were because they didn't. Because guess how many exist? 0.
Yeah.
They don't even exist. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's my number 3, working knowledge of, bring a working knowledge of how Disney works now.
Yes. I think this number 3 is going to appear somewhere on your list. It may be in a different way.
Sure.
Maybe not. My number 3 is to bring multiple pairs of shoes. Now, I am not saying this is different from sandals.
Sure.
This is different from, the reality is this. I like the idea of bringing sandals and having, slides or flip-flops or whatever in your bag. Oh, it's raining. Let's switch. Here's the problem I encounter with that. I'm never in a convenient spot to change my shoes.
Yeah.
Even if I am in a convenient spot, my backpack may get wet because my shoes don't fit in my waterproof pouch. I wear size 13, so they're not fitting in the waterproof pouch.
Yeah.
But if I have 2 pair, I can very easily put my wet ones out on the balcony when we get back.
Yep.
And then for the next day, wear another pair of comfortable ones.
Yes.
So that's reason number one to bring multiple pairs of shoes.
Yes.
Reason number two to bring multiple pairs of shoes is that even if they're the most comfortable pair of shoes you own, when you're walking 25,000 steps, when you're walking 12 miles a day, every shoe has unique, not pinch points, but rub points, right? Points where friction occurs.
Yep.
If you're doing it, even with your most comfortable pair of shoes, all day, every day for a week, you're going to get, it's the same spots getting abused, and you're going to get, it's kind of like, you'll see women with 5 different swimsuits, so they don't have tan lines in all the same spots.
Sure.
It's the same thing with
comparison.
It's the same thing with shoes. Don't wear the same shoes because you're going to end up with the same rub spots,
the
same rub points, and you're going to end up with blisters. So I bring usually 2 pairs of sneakers that I know are comfortable, that are slightly different.
And then you bring your slides, and
I do bring my slides as well.
Crocs
This is I feel this is separate. I just know myself that even if I switch over to my slides, those shoes are getting wet at some point, and so it's easier to just switch into new shoes.
For me, I'll do 2 different brands of shoes because I know that they're made different. So like I won't bring 2 pairs of, Nike Dunks or whatever. I'll do a Nike and I'll do like an Adidas walking shoe or something for that reason.
Right.
So,
right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just my number 3 is multiple shoes. And it's not, look, this is not, if you can't do it, it's fine, but this is about what I'm bringing and what I'm going to make sure to bring. I've made the mistake before of only bringing sneakers, 1 pair of sneakers and sandals, and like my feet didn't necessarily get blistered, but they certainly hurt by the end. So switching it up, I think, is good. So that's me. Number 3, multiple pairs of shoes.
My number 2 is something that I experienced last week, and we were very close to being in big trouble on this one for our little trip here. And so when we went to Mexico, it's an all-inclusive resort, and we brought sunscreen with us. So my number 2 is extra sunscreen, more than you think, because we thought we had enough. And we were down to the very last of the sunscreen by the last day. So when I came back, I mean, you're looking at me right now.
Yeah.
I'm normal colored.
Yeah.
I'm not pasty white, and I'm not super tan.
I mean, you wear SPF 200.
Well, I actually am, compared to the rest of my family, I actually have a pinch of color. They don't. But that last day we were on the beach, it was like we were using up the rest of it, and it was almost gone. But here's the interesting part. They do have these little stores at the resorts. Do you want to know how much the sunscreen was?
Oh, I'm sure.
I didn't see this, but my sister told me this, and I believe her. $40 for a bottle of sunscreen.
Yeah.
Like straight up spray, $40.
Well, that's obviously highway robbery.
Yeah.
It is certainly marked up at Disney. It is not quite that high. You can get it at Disney.
Yeah.
If you're at Disney and you run out, my recommendation is if you have time, do an Amazon Prime Now order.
Yeah.
Not buying it there because it's going to be cheaper on Amazon Prime Now, even when you pay the delivery.
And that one, like I know, I put it at number 2, but it's fresh in my mind that, boy, we almost ran out. And we, like Nick said, we are very fair-skinned in our family. My wife and I both, so our kids are as well.
Look, it's not on my list because I guess I didn't even think about it. Not because we don't use, I mean, we use a lot of sunscreen too. I just didn't even think about it, I guess. But you're going to want to bring like, I always don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's hook or hook. I don't know, whatever, those fishing shirts that are long sleeves, but they're SPF, but they're light. Wear something like that. But yeah, sun protection is huge.
Yeah.
Sun protection, I think, is more important than the rain. The rain, okay, I'm wet.
Yeah.
Sun, you can get real sick and obviously skin cancer and stuff. So, the sunscreen's huge.
Well, that's partially why we do it. We've a couple people in my family, parents have had skin cancer, so we're very, very cautious.
I've never been on a trip before where somebody is not checking the heat, but checking the UV index for that day. But
I have it right on my watch.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I totally get it. I understand. But it didn't make my list just because I guess I wasn't thinking about it, honestly. Number 2 for me is cooling devices / towels / apparel.
Nice.
So this has changed for me over the years. I would have told you I am not going to walk around with a cooling towel around my neck, or I am not. I'm certainly not going to have a fan that's blowing in my face that wraps around my neck. I'm not saying I'm at the point where I'm wearing the cooling fan, but I don't judge people anymore when I see them wearing one.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say, I'm a hat guy when I'm traveling.
Me too.
And the first couple times I went, I was like, okay, I'm wearing like a baseball hat. And now I wear my lawnmower hat that my wife absolutely hates, and I don't care. Because guess what? It keeps me cool. It's one of those mission like cooling hats. I have a Buffalo Bills cooling hat, and I think I have a maybe it's a Boston Bruins one. I can't remember. I have another sports team hat that's cooling one. And for those of you who don't know or haven't seen our Instagram, both Rob and I are bald, so like wearing a hat at Disney is like
must
100% essential, because no matter how much sunscreen you put on, you're going to be in trouble if you don't.
And I always wear a ball cap, and I'll do like one of those ones that's mesh in the back.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit cooler, but then I'll put sunscreen on the back of my head because I know it's not going to completely cover it. But well, Nick and I have gone, so we know this. So I always wear a Bills hat.
Yeah.
And hoping that and part of me, honestly, I really mean this, is it's just a way to connect with people in the parks. You know, people see I'm wearing my Bills hat. Someone yells out, "Go Bills," and it makes for a cool conversation. And we did that last week in Mexico too. People wearing Bills stuff made for really nice conversation. Met some great people.
We were watching a couple weeks ago. I was watching a particular YouTube, and I texted Rob and I said, "Hey, go ahead and watch this particular YouTube because love it." I said, "Tell me what you say 45 seconds in," and he texts me, "Go Bills." There is a guy. It's something about being a Buffalo person. Mm-hmm. There's a guy like not even like right in the background. He's like, just where's Waldo?
Yep.
Situation. I was like, "Hey, go Bills,
go Bills."
So it's just kind of funny.
Oh, it's great. It's I'm sure other cities have this. I know Philadelphia does.
Yeah.
They do like a Fly Eagles or something similar to that, and it's cool. You know, it's just kind of a fun camaraderie that you have for us for Western New York, and I'm sure it exists elsewhere. It's just cool. If your city has it, that's great. I'm happy for you.
Yeah. I would add about the cooling devices stuff and the towels and apparel, blah blah blah. Buy it and bring it with you. Get the frog. I think the brand I have is Frog Togs. You can get the cooling towels that have the little Mickey print on them. Mm-hmm. You're going to pay through the nose for those things in the park, and they're not as good.
And you lose them easily, so don't.
Just go on Amazon, buy them.
We've done it. We enjoy them too. It's those cooling towels. Some of them are almost like as long as scarves, where you can get them wet and wrap them around your neck.
We have one that is probably I would say 2 foot by 2 foot. That is really good because I'll like roll it up and put that around my neck, and then you can readjust it, or you can even put it over your head. And then we have ones that are like long. I would say 2 foot long by maybe 4 inches wide.
Those scarf
So
ones.
It's like a scarf type one.
Yeah.
And then you're right. They make some that are really long.
Yep.
But it's good. The kid's getting cranky. It's really hot in this line. Okay, take one of these out. You pour a little bit of water on it if you haven't already got it wet or whatever.
Me too.
And then you put those on. But it's really important because, I mean, you don't want to mess around with that heat. We were there. We saw it at 9 a.m. at Slinky Dog Dash. Somebody is on the ground with heat exhaustion already. So you got to be careful. Cooling devices, towels, and apparel is my number 2. What's your number 1?
My number 1 is the most important thing to me personally when I go to the parks, and that is my backpack. So my backpack is lots of little things in there because like I always need something. Like, let's say I'm getting a headache. It's the middle of the day. Something's going on. I got a little bit of, Advil in there or whatever. I can throw the phone charger in there. My sunglasses I switch on and off because I don't wear contacts. Nick does. I don't. So I wear glasses normally, and then I switch on and off with my prescription sunglasses. So that goes in and out. Band-Aids, water, my extra shoes. So I count on it raining, so I'll throw in like Crocs, which are extra light, or my slides. Extra shirt we've talked about a lot too, because it's hot and sweaty and we're bigger guys, and it's good to put on a fresh shirt midday. And I don't know. So it's my backpack is very, very, very essential for me. It's important to get a good one that you're comfortable with wearing. Try it on. I have one that's a little heavier that I wore to Disneyland that I don't know if I will do again. I think I need something a little bit lighter to bring around during the day. But that's my ride or die is my backpack in the parks.
So I wrote in my honorable mentions, lightweight backpack.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be clear. I get it. You're going to Disney, and I understand the desire to maybe have a backpack that screams Disney pride. Okay. My son's got a really nice one that has it's black with like grayish Mickey Mouse heads, just the silhouette. It's a cool backpack, but it's heavy. My daughter has one with Disney princesses on it. Cool backpack, heavy. Loungeflies, cool backpacks, heavy.
Yeah, because they're leather, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My backpack is this lightweight. It's called a packable backpack because it folds in on itself. If you go to our Instagram, this is not me. Look, this is not me advertising. I don't care if you use our link or not.
Honestly. Are these the cool, colorful ones?
Yes.
Oh, these are awesome.
If you go to our Instagram and you go to in our stories, if you go to our account, go to our stories, and it's like products, top products, or Dizlist top products or something.
I am doing it right now.
If you go through there are a whole bunch of this one brand that I love. They're super lightweight and super cheap. So if you rip it, if you stain it, if it gets lost, you don't care. And they usually have, some of them have like waterproof pouches. They're already water resistant. You can even make them more water resistant by spraying them with like the tent repellent stuff. Yeah, that's the one right there.
Holding it up.
Venture Pal packable backpacks.
Yeah, I found it on my phone. I'm holding it up to Nick right now. He's looking at it.
Yeah, Venture Pal packable backpacks, tons of different colors. And here's the thing that one of our listeners who actually purchased one of them through that link.
Really?
She said that when she got it, she was like, I want to Disneyfy it. So she got like a red one, I think, or that, if that makes sense, maybe a black one. But it was definitely a color that was like Disney-ish color. So black, and then you put red stuff on it, whatever. It doesn't matter. She got patches, just like you do with your hats.
I do, yeah.
And she put the patches on it. So it now was Disneyfied, but it's still lightweight. And when I tell you these are lightweight, when there's nothing in them, they weigh like, I want to say less than half a pound. Try that with a Loungefly. They are like in the single digit ounces in weight, and they hold a ton. They are very comfortable. They have water bottle pouches.
They have a wet pocket.
I love these bags, and this is not an advertisement for us to make a bunch of money.
Yes.
I would love.
This sounds like a setup.
Yeah, I would love for you to go to Amazon and click on, or go to Instagram and click on our link. But if I was trying to sell you it, I would tell you that's the only place to do it. Venture Pal. Look up Venture Pal and buy it on your own if you don't want to, go in our search for our link. I really don't care, because the reality is I want people to know they're that good.
Yeah, this means nothing to me but 0.4 kilograms.
0.4 kilograms. So and that's the heaviest one. So 0.4 kilograms, that's about, quick math. About 1 pound.
Okay.
But that's the heaviest one.
Let's go to that tropical one.
Yeah.
The one with the tropical print.
So there's some that are like 4 or 5 ounces.
Okay.
The ones that are heavier have the extra wet pouches, or wet pouch and stuff like that.
Size 40 liters. That's pretty big.
It's a huge one. That's some of them. And I don't have that big a one, but I'm telling you, Rob's not wrong. Bring a backpack and make sure it's comfortable.
Yeah, it's super important to me.
Yeah. I know I kind of went off on a tangent there about that particular backpack for something. For something that's not even on. For something that's not even on my. It's not even on my list.
I'm sitting in the room with you, and I'm looking it up right now too.
So I would also say that the nice thing about them is they come in multiple sizes, so you can get them that are big enough for your kids, that are small enough for your kids, that would then they could carry those and not feel weighed down and feel like they're helping out. Because some people some kids do want to feel like they're helping out, and they want to have access to their stuff. And so I don't know. That I agree with you 100%. Backpack.
Jeez, these are cool.
They are cool. My number one is gift cards.
Oh, you're a pro at this.
So here's the thing.
Yeah. I don't think we've talked about this in a while. I'm glad you brought this back up.
So first of all, it's a money saving tip.
Yeah.
I will tell you, it's if you're paying face value for your Disney gift cards, you're doing it wrong. If you don't have a BJ's membership, you could almost buy enough gift cards throughout the year to pay for your BJ's membership. But that's besides the point. Target, you can sign up to be a Target Red member. You don't need to really do anything special. It doesn't cost money. Those are usually, I think, 4% off. You can find deals all year long.
You sent me one through Best Buy,
Best
remember?
Buy was 10% off.
Yeah,
They do those a number of times.
I forgot about that and didn't even use it last trip. I went on last week, literally, and went, oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Still have it. Added it to my Disney gift card balance. It's there. It's waiting for me now.
Yep.
And gosh, that was a while ago when you told me about that.
We actually just got a deal the other day. There was a coupon. There was like a online for BJ's Wholesale Club members. There was a coupon of $10 off a purchase of $100 or more. And they were also having a 6% off the face value of Disney tickets.
Nice.
Or not Disney tickets, Disney gift cards. So ended up the amount ended up being like 13% off of the gift cards.
That's great.
So I forget exactly how much we got. But hear me out. This is why this is not about money saving. We were purchasing them for the kids because if you're going as a family, and now that I'm at a point in my travels where my kids are now old enough to be responsible for their own stuff
and manage it. Yep, absolutely.
My number one thing is packing gift cards for them. Now, there are people who need to also pack it for themselves for the same reasons.
So there's a limit.
So it's budgeting, okay? My children know this is how much is on that card. And when they swipe that card, it pops up. This is how much you have left. And so for them, it is a very good way for them to see how much money they have, how to budget it, how to keep a cap on that budget. It's a great way for me to not have to worry about like, I'm not around and I've got the gift cards or whatever. It's perfect. Okay. And then they're not scanning their Magic Band and having to remember a PIN. They've got their gift card.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. Here's my gift card. There you go. Okay, I have that much left. We can move on. So this is great for budgeting purposes. If you're going, especially like people love this trick when they're going to like a Food and Wine. You buy $100 card. You've got $100 to spend. You got to decide which stuff's good because otherwise you might go and be like, I want one of everything. Yeah. This is great for kids to teach budgeting and teach control. So for me, my number one is gift cards because it also has a dual purpose. Not only budgeting you there, but it also saves you money because even though it says $50 on the gift card, you shouldn't pay $50 for it. You probably can get it for, $47. So that's just cool. That's just my 2 cents.
Nope. Good one to end on. Yeah. I think that's great. And it's funny. We said 5+ and then these different things evolved into other things. And like my backpack one includes 10 different items that could have gone on anybody's list. And it ends up kind of being a tip more than anything else.
Do you have any other honorable mentions?
Let's see. I know I had something. I don't know why it disappeared on my list.
Well, maybe I'll jog your memory. I have 2.
Sure.
That I have left. Reusable straws, especially if you're a milkshake person.
Yeah.
And make sure if you're a milkshake person, your reusable straws are not the silicone type because they will collapse on themselves. You can't suck up a milkshake with those.
Yeah.
Paper straws with milkshakes don't work.
And paper straws don't work for us at all because they
are
made with gluten. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So we have brought the metal ones before.
Yeah. Yep. So I said straws. Mm-hmm. And then the other one is external phone storage might be an issue for some people to bring. You can get little thumb drives now that are external phone storage, and what are photo storage for your phones. So external photo storage, whether it be an external hard drive, I think that's maybe a bit much. But a quick thumb drive that has an adapter to go attached to your phone, which they do make now.
Cool.
Because you're going to take a lot of photos and you want to dump them.
Yeah.
Put them in there so you don't have to like delete your other photos. So I think that's just something that's an honorable mention. You don't need to have that. But if you're somebody who takes a lot of pictures and you don't have a lot of room on your phone, it's a good way to do it.
Yep.
So.
Or bring the camera, like I said earlier, with an extra memory card.
But again, that's still extra photo storage. Like right here, for some reason, Rob's got a little SD card here. It doesn't even say what the storage is.
That is because I just got a camera donated to me, I teach photo. I said that earlier.
Yeah.
And there are 2 memory card slots in this camera, which you don't always see. So you open it up, and there was, wow, there's 2. So that's kind of a nice little bonus. So I brought that one home from work, and I'm going to try it out with the 2 memory cards. So that would be a nice thing to bring on my trip and have that as an option too.
Awesome. So did you find did I jog your memory at all?
I swear I wrote something, and I'm looking at this list, and it's not there, and I can't remember.
That's okay. You had a long night.
I know. I think I did okay. I said to Nick, well, I'm not going to turn this podcast into me promoting my band, but we had a show last night, and I did okay. I don't think I screwed up too many times.
Yeah. So you had a show. You didn't go to bed till probably 2.
Yeah.
Then we had school all day, and we're recording on a Friday.
5:30. Get 5:30 in the morning, and we're recording right after school. But I'm okay. I had some caffeine. I'm feeling good, and my brain is working all right. I had an okay day. Kids weren't too nuts. Usually Fridays are crazy. They were okay. So
they recognized that you were tired.
My last day with your son was today. It was a little that's bittersweet.
Yeah,
that was fun.
All right. Yeah. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for all the support, and remind you to please email us at dizzlesspodcast@gmail.com or message us at dizzlespod on Instagram. You can either, as my wife said, toast the host, or as I thought, roast the host. I think roasting would be more funny, but hey, you want to toast us, we would love to hear some good things. Everybody likes to hear good things about themselves. So if you want to go ahead and do that, that'd be great. But yeah, thanks so much for all you guys do for us and for all the support you've shown. But it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow's just a list away.
Tune in next time, and we'll see you real soon.